Hey y'all. Happy new week. Happy July. Looks like many people have been enjoying holidays, lots of things, whatever it is that you are celebrating in life, as well as many people are, babies are coming and marriages are happening and all that. So, congratulations to any of you who have recently had a baby, you have given birth, you have brought life into the world. And for those of you who have gotten married or engaged or committed in a relationship and really working on relationship agreements and just how to be your best self within that and why, it's really cool. So just segue into what I would love to share and speak on today is specifically relationships, relationship agreements, and just how important it is. I'm watching these squirrels in my yard and they're so funny. Like, I'm not sure how many of you have ever just like watched squirrels, but they do some crazy like gymnastics moves. They hang upside down almost like monkeys with their feet and their tail, and they hang on these tiny thin branches. It's like so funny because these are like little babies. They've been growing up though, because we give them a lot of our funny like compost and stuff that you could typically just throw in your garbage, but why not like throw it out in the yard here? And the squirrels are just, they like just sit and snack on it and eat it up, and it's so funny. So I love to watch them because they're like new babies. I've literally watched them grow from like a tiny, teeny tiny little squirrel to, they're still very small, but to now be maybe almost a foot long. So there's two of them. They're like playing in the yard. So it's pretty fun. So basically, what I would like to share on and hear from you all as well is just the importance of a committed relationship and having that clarity and oneness between you and your partner as you go into pregnancy, as you go into parenthood, as you go into marriage, if that's the route you're going down, as you go into a relationship agreement specifically. We started ours the end of November of last year, 2021. And it was a big commitment. It was a big deal. And I wouldn't have wanted to do it any other way. And the reason for that is from the beginning. So this is something I had never done before in any relationship, even a friendship, any kind of business relationship, anything, right? And so we made that agreement to our relationship agreement, and we were very clear on why did we want to have kids? Why do we someday want to be married? Like all these different things. And I'm saying this as in like myself that day or that time period in November of when we decided these things. And so going through those conversations and those points together is so powerful. If you have not ever done a relationship agreement, even if you're married and you're like, well, we did our vows, or we did this, or like we have the Bible, or we have these values we go by, we really value, be a good person, and all this stuff, whatever. Like, all of that is great. Like, I am not saying one is better than the other, or one is not best, or whatever. Like, it's how you're participating within that, and why you're participating within that. That's, I would say, the why is more important than how you're doing it, but for sure the why is more important no matter what, right? Because that's the purpose and intention. So as far as that piece goes, if you do not have a written, I'm saying written as in Word document, write it out on paper, put it in a notes in your phone that you share, as long as you view it as valuable. Like, if you're putting it in a piece of paper and you just like have it up and it's crinkled, and like you tape it with some duct tape on the wall, and it just like the value or the purpose of the why is not there, then like maybe we need to work on that, right? And like, I can help you with that. We can help you with that. So that this would be my biggest like shout out to anyone, future moms, mamas, parents, families, married people, not married people, partners, life companions, people who are committed. If you're committed, if you are saying you are committed in a relationship and you do not have a relationship agreement, hit me up for support. I would love to support you. The reason for that is, again, you are laying out your principles, your values, your purpose, your why behind, especially I'm going to speak on the point of children and pregnancy and all that, because that's like the reality here in our home and in our family. And also, it is part of the reason of like why I'm doing this channel, right? Like the channel is specifically, this part of the channel is on parenting and motherhood and mama and being a mama. So as we go into this journey, as you go into this journey, maybe you're already far into the journey, that doesn't mean you can't say, hey, I really would like to propose you could just do a support with me before you even do this with your spouse, or you can just straight up go all in and just straight up say, yeah, these are some things that I would like to propose in our relationship as a relationship agreement, and here's some ideas of things we could put on it, and here's why. There's not necessarily a template as to like, you should have this section or this thing or do this or do that. And at the same time, if that's something you're looking for, like if that's like a resistance for you, if you're like, I don't know how to lay it out or whatever, I would recommend, again, reaching out for support, because then you can just fight through that resistance and get through that point and not have that lingering as you're wanting to present it to your partner, or as you and your partner are watching this and you're deciding, hey, it would be really good for us to renew our relationship agreement. Because some people renew their vows, right, when they're married. So why are we not on a regular basis touching base on a physical hard copy or on the computer copy of a relationship agreement to say, all right, so for us, baby's coming end of October here. let's touch base. Or, hey, this new part of our life is coming. We're gonna be starting a new part of our life journey here. So this fly is tickling me, sorry. So how can why do we want to keep these things on our agreement, and why do we want to adjust them? Why would we even think to adjust them? Is there a reason? And, kind of selling each other on it and sharing perspectives and purpose and all of that to just check in. Because you're never going to have it right. It's never going to just be like, this is it for life, and like, what do you mean? Like, this is just what we're doing. Because definitions of words can be different for you and your partner. So although you might have a relationship agreement laid out, one of you might say, well, when I read this thing, I think this is what it means. And the other person is saying, well, when I read that, I'm thinking this, because that's the definition of the word in Google. And then now it's this back and forth of like, okay, well, we thought we were really clear and we're on the same page, except if your vocabulary and your definition of a word is different, it explains so much as to why the agreement around being faithful and not having multiple partners or whatever it is that you have around like being faithful, if the other person doesn't understand the same exact definition as you around the word faithful, when you or they come to you or you go to them and you're like, quote unquote, accusing someone or the other person, which is not best to do, but like if that's happening, it's almost like you're no better than that person because neither one of you have the same definition. So it, even if they hurt you emotionally, then you still have to take the responsibility of saying, okay, this got so mixed up here. You were thinking this, I was thinking this. This is why it's mixed up. This is why it's not the same understanding. So I would highly, highly, highly recommend doing a relationship agreement. Like I said, you can be married, you can be in a committed relationship, you can be boyfriend, girlfriend, you can be whatever, you can be engaged, you can not be engaged. None of my business as far as your status. The relationship agreement is a huge foundation for any relationship, and I would recommend this for every single human being on earth who has a committed relationship or who wants a committed relationship and feels like there's even 1% of improvement in their relationship. And let's be honest, if you don't think that you have 1% of room for growth in your relationship, then you're fooling yourself, because like, you're not teachable and you're not willing to change if you think that everything's completely perfect between you and your partner or your spouse or your boyfriend or girlfriend or husband or wife or whatever. Because that's not the reality of the world we live in. So, yeah, highly, highly recommend doing a relationship agreement. Highly recommend you liking this, sharing this, commenting, subscribing. Comment that you have a relationship agreement if you are someone who has already done that. Share your vows, share your relationship, some things on your relationship agreement. Share just an agreement you have verbally agreed on between you and your spouse, and you maybe could write it down and like slap a definition on it and actually have like something concrete, even if it's just one to start. I would love to hear it. I would love to share it. And sharing is the opposite of fear. So when we're fearing something, or we're not sure about something, or we don't want to share because we're embarrassed about our value or our purpose or whatever it is that you maybe don't want to share, because it is so beneficial. And you will help so many people just by one share, one word, one sentence, one share. It can really impact the world and change the world, because we're all equal, and as much as we look at all these differences, we are all so similar. We just don't share enough, so nobody knows that we're like very similar people, all of us human beings. So yes, please, please, please share, comment, share this with other people. If you like need instructions, or you like really want to go in on this, I would love to support you one-on-one or two-on-one, like you and your spouse, you and your partner, whatever. Would love to do that, because it's just the next action step to having the best relationship. And none of us have it perfect yet. So all of us are like, all of us have that 1% we can change, and that's where our teachability comes in, right? If we are truly teachable, we're willing to change, then that 1%, we all should be raising our hand and saying, yes, I want to do that, honey, or baby, or sweetie pie, whatever you call each other. And just invest some time in each other in your relationship, because it's life goes by fast, and it's important. And if you feel that it is important, I would love to share that same value, and really get down deep into the purpose and to your why, as far as your relationship and your agreements and your relationship agreement, all of that, all the things. So like, subscribe, comment, share. I'm going to put this in Self-Perfected. I will put this on my YouTube channel. And yeah, reach out. Let's go. Share what you learned.